Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism and narcissistic relationships. It has been a long time since we've heard a proverb, and so we're going to do one of those today. But before I do that, just going to remind you, because this, I do a healing program. Those of you interested, this is a great month to sign up. You get 25% off your first month. Especially, you have to use this code, and you can get more details in the video notes. But when you use that code, you'll get 25% off your first month. But let's take on this Zen proverb, which actually is related to healing. So let's figure this one out. So this is a Zen proverb. Like I said, I've been remiss on doing proverbs, right? So the way it goes is knowledge is learning something every day. Wisdom is letting go of something every day. Probably something I should listen to where my closets are concerned. But how is this relevant to narcissistic abuse? Because the only way people are going to heal or get past narcissistic abuse is by learning about it. It's amazing how much knowledge really pushes healing. Narcissism and narcissistic abuse are obviously not taught in school. In fact, we're kind of taught the contrary by families, teachers, religious communities, which is find a way to get along. Always forgive. If there's a problem, maybe it's your fault. We are definitely not taught about red flags and behaviors that are unacceptable. For many survivors or experiencers of narcissistic abuse, most will say, before this happened to me, I didn't know this was a thing. I thought a narcissistic person was a person who loves to look in the mirror all the time and brags a lot. I had no idea about the rest of this stuff, the manipulation, the gaslighting, the invalidation. If it happened to you as a child, you just think you had a terrible childhood. And it may even be normalized. So this means that learning about it is a key. But this proverb is saying learning isn't enough. You can get it, but still be continually harmed by it. So this proverb is saying this is where we get into wisdom. Because the letting go is the key, and I tend to agree with that. When you are trying to heal from narcissistic abuse, what are you trying to let go of? You're trying to let go of lots of stuff. You're trying to let go of internalized narratives about how you are not enough and your needs don't matter. You're trying to let go of the hope that the narcissistic relationship can change. You're trying to let go of the hope that you can change them. You're trying to let go of the hope of the idea of a normal family, happy marriage, a certain kind of a life. You're letting go of the idea that the only way we'll be loved is by silencing our needs, wants, and aspirations. Letting go of the idea that if you forgive them, then everything will be okay. You're letting go of the idea that other people will support your decision and see it too. You're letting go of the idea that they will someday be punished or there will be some form of karmic payback. Wisdom is about letting go of the many narratives, assumptions, distortions, beliefs, and hopes that keep these relationships going, and for a while, perhaps even kept you going. And that can be really challenging, because then what comes in to fill in that place? In theory, that's where the knowledge can step in, as well as ensuring that you wrote down what happened and allow yourself to remember what the relationship was really like. Not let the trauma-bonded justifications sugarcoat the whole experience and keep pulling you back in. Because ultimately, wisdom is about letting go of the relationship. Maybe not literally. Maybe it's not about you engaging. Maybe it's about lower contact. Maybe it is staying in, but staying in with radical acceptance. Maybe it is ending the relationship. It all depends on your situation. Wisdom isn't just about walking away. Wisdom is about seeing it and releasing the narratives and justifications that keep you stuck, whether literally or mentally. Trauma bonding makes letting go difficult. So if you are struggling with it, it is not a lack of wisdom as much as it is a difficulty in digging into old cycles, giving yourself permission to be fully yourself, giving yourself permission for your needs and wants and no longer equating chaos and love. It's a lot easier to learn about something than it is to let something go. In an ideal world, we can do both. And it is essential, since the knowledge will prop up those holes where you learn to let things go and where the wisdom came from. So I like this proverb because I think it's a great one for healing and lets us know that it's a process, not just the knowing, but also the willingness to let things go. Thanks again.